Do you guys know that being a YouTuber can be really challenging sometimes? Like thinking of the right things to say while speaking to a camera and not having any kind of clue of what people are going to say or how they're going to respond to it. That's made this a little difficult for me to record this intro. And I've tried probably 10 to 15 times at this point, but can't seem to nail it down. So maybe I'm just going to stick with this one. I'm David. I create PC gaming content. I try a bunch of weird stuff, pairing old graphics cards and new CPUs and all those kinds of things. And I have a vision to be a resource, be a conduit, be a blessing, because I've been blessed, to a community in the PC space. And ways that I'm trying to create and do that are holding local events where like for example, I'm trying to find the right CPU for this build, but I'm going to hold an event where I do rock, paper, scissors as a tournament, and the winner gets a PC. I have held giveaways in the past where I did an axe throwing contest locally, a plastic yard throwing axe contest, and someone won a PC there. I had the first one I ever did. I actually had people donate parts in my local area and gave that PC away for Christmas. So that was really fun. So like my goal, my hope, my brand is to be a place that can give back, because the reality is, like, no matter what you do in life, there are people that you need to be thankful for that got you there. It's just a very awkward thing for me to record. So I'm just gonna get straight to the point today. This is a PC that I'm going to be giving away. I have a newsletter. There's a free version, and then there's a paid version where you want to support the channel and help it grow and see those things come about. And the paid version biannually can win a PC June 15th or December 15th. And again, just being transparent with you guys, I am probably going to do away with the paid need, like only in the December version, where if you guys decided to subscribe to the free version now, I might do where if you've been subscribed for like 4 months or something like that, you can win the PC in December. I still would appreciate the support because, as a business, I'm trying to grow and feed my family and buy new technology. Anyway, so this video is going to be me benchmarking the giveaway PC so that you guys can see exactly what you could potentially win. And please let me just say this. I don't want you guys to sign up, or it's $5 a month for 3 months. I don't want you to go in there and do that and you've never watched a video and you're never going to watch a video again, because that's not what this is. This is just an opportunity for me to give back to the community that supports me, wants to see me grow. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling here and tell you guys the computer. So this is a ROG Strix gaming case. It is a little worn and used. I really liked it and wanted to use it though. So I'll flip this thing around for you. This particular PC has a Thermalright CPU cooler. It's an air cooler. It has the temperature on there. I really liked that. Underneath the cooler is a Ryzen 5 7500F. It has 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. And then it comes with an RTX 2080. Right now, to test the games, I have a different SSD in there. But whenever it gets shipped out to the winner on June 15th or whatever, that'll be the day that they get picked. But whatever they get the PC itself, it'll come with a 1 terabyte NVMe. Essentially, all I'm going to do in this video is just hang out with you guys and benchmark a bunch of games on it, just to kind of showcase what it does. So we will be playing Crimson Desert for sure, Black Myth Wukong, Cyberpunk, Counter-Strike 2, and Where Winds Meet. If you do watch my content, I did the most popular free games on a 3060 Ti yesterday, and I tried Where Winds Meet. Thought it was a really cool looking game, so I wanted to try to run it on this. That's really all this video is going to be, is just me hanging out and talking, and it will probably be a little less edited than some of the others. Who knows? So let's just go ahead and benchmark some of these games. I'm sorry that this was so long, guys. It's been very difficult and challenging for me to record this, and I keep deleting it. So hopefully I stick with this one. All right, you guys, so we have the first game loaded up here on the giveaway PC. I still really love how this displays the CPU temperature, and it is accurate because it shows it up here as well. We are in Crimson Desert. As I mentioned, this video is going to be a lot more me rambling than normal, and I apologize in advance. It technically wouldn't let me use Windows, so I can't activate my speaker. because I've changed hardware. So it will have Windows whenever it gets shipped out though. This is a 1440p monitor. I did have to undervolt the GPU or do less power draw, I guess that's undervolting, because it was just blasting like crazy. So I did choose to drop down the power usage a little bit because I didn't want the fans running that loud. So I'll go ahead and show you the settings really quickly. I'm gonna choose to run everything on low. I think we could probably get away with going to medium. Let's see if it drops us a whole lot. 48. I guess I'll go ahead and start the test here. I will do a benchmark for you guys too at the end, just so you can kind of see, but this looks really solid. The thing about this particular setup here is this is 100% like upgradable. The 2080 is what's gonna hold this back. Like you could put way more graphics card in there. So that is something that like whoever wins this can absolutely do. And I don't care what you guys do with it. If you get the 2080 and want to sell it and put in a different card, it's your computer. So like that doesn't matter to me. Or if you just win it and decide you want to sell it, I mean, that would kind of stink, but can I go up on this roof? Oh, I can, that's cool. Can I jump up here? Wow, I never knew you could do all this. Interesting. As I mentioned, this is just gonna be a lot more rambling and me kind of discussing my background while showing you guys some gameplay of, he can jump far, of this computer and hopefully just like aiding in the excitement for whoever may win this. So I did want to start out with like kind of how this channel started the way it is now and maybe give you guys like a better understanding. I mean, we're sitting around the 40 FPS mark, by the way, so I will talk about some of this. And we are 100% GPU utilized. Like I said, this thing is going to be the limiting factor of this particular PC. But we probably should have run 1080p, but I figured 1440p might be a better portrayal of especially some of these games here. So I got into this channel, where it is and what it's doing now. I started out, in some of the videos I've mentioned to you guys, I used to do streaming. I did a lot of like just purely gaming content. I've always had a big spot for sports and video games. And before this, I actually was trying to start a business centered around helping gamers lead more active and social lives. So long story, I'm not gonna get into it, but I went through some circumstances in life that like really brought me down. I turned to gaming and I was playing way too much, like stopped going to my job, stopped hanging out with my friends. And it was friends that I'd made through sports that came out, checked on me and forced me to get back into regular life. So this does look pretty solid for being on a graphics card that's not that strong at this point. If this is the 2080 Ti, I would argue it's pretty strong, but the 2080 has started to feel kind of dated personally, but still this is like the most demanding game that's out there. So I have always just loved sports. I used to be really active. I played competitive ultimate frisbee. At one point I was sponsored for parkour. I skateboard. I played basketball. I lifted weights for 20 years. Just a very active person. And about a year ago, I had some health problems with my heart and other things that have still not completely gone away. So I had to stop all sports. I was basically near death, to be honest with you guys. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I didn't know why. Oh, I was just learning that you could climb on that. Take the cat back to the child. Oh, come here, kitty, kitty. Come here, kitty, kitty. All right, where's the kid? And it was just a really hard time then. Like probably 6 months ago, it took all of my energy just to build a PC, and it took me like a day or two just to recover. So the fact that I've been able to do these videos like every day, swap out components, like at least get to this point of health, I've been very grateful for. But the reason I started this was because like I had to stop going to sports. I wasn't really getting to see my friends. I wasn't really being able to be social and like get those endorphins through sports anymore. And I told my wife, I'm like, I gotta do something or I'm gonna go crazy. So I got into PC building and I decided to I hadn't done anything on YouTube in like 2 years. And I'm like, I really miss YouTube. I'm gonna attempt to get back into it. And so here we are. Somehow it's started to grow and it's made some progress. And I've pretty much wanted to do YouTube for 10, 15 years. But this is the first time it's like really gone anywhere, and I've gotten better and understood it better. So that's kind of why I'm in the state where I'm at now, that this is something that I'm doing. I really enjoy it. And that gives you guys kind of some backstory as to how I got here and why I got here. So yeah, I really just enjoy this. And it's at some point, I'm assuming I'll get healthy. The doctors still haven't figured out what's wrong with me. So like to give you like an idea, I did all those things. I was very active. I had blood pressure that was going up to like 140 over 100. My resting heart rate would be like 100 all the time. Yeah, so my resting heart rate would be like 100 all the time. I couldn't even brush my teeth without feeling like I was going to faint or that my heart was just going to stop. So like it was really, really bad. And now like it has improved a lot. Now I just have a lot of pain. My heart's not quite as bad. Like I've made a lot of progress there. That's how I really got into this space here. And at some point, I'm assuming, even though we can't figure out what's wrong, we think it was because I lived in a certain home, I got exposed to something, we moved, and I've been making progress. So eventually I will hopefully be able to get back to playing sports, be more active, that kind of stuff. But I've really fallen in love with PC building and just this kind of stuff. So that's how I got into this. And I mentioned like some of the things that I've done so I've mentioned some of the things that I've done and like events that I've hosted to give PCs away, but there is a long history of gaming beforehand. So before I got into this, I did a lot with PC stuff. So my goal in the past, and I might revisit some of this at some point. I think maybe I should just switch to the next game and I'll continue the story because I don't know what's going on or how to do this. So let's go ahead and swap to Black Myth Wukong. All right, so we've swapped over to Black Myth Wukong. Let's go ahead and take a look at the settings. And again, like I said, none of these are just about like absolutely optimizing it. We're mostly just kind of trying to see, wow, it's gonna let me go up to that 75 super resolution. It's mostly just like, we're gonna go to medium because I think that's probably where this PC CPU GPU combination can run. Mostly just hanging out, playing games. That looks really good for a 2080. That's super. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Wow. But so what I was saying was that before, wow, this is really responsive. This is good. Before, Crimson Desert felt like it wasn't quite this smooth, which was surprising because I expected Black Myth Wukong to be worse. Before I got into, YouTube and PC building and stuff like that, I've been pretty heavily involved in the gaming space already. So like for a while I worked at a nonprofit as like the gaming director kind of. So I helped arrange tournaments. I ran like gaming classes for their youth. So they let me kind of do some of the things that I wanted to do with my business in the past that never really like saw any success. So I would put together tournaments where I would combine sports and video games because again, I've always believed that gamers need more physical activity and more socialization. It's great to be a gamer, but you do need to like not be in front of a screen so often. So this is so good looking. Wow. The fuzz is almost even gone too. That's impressive. So I would put together a tournament where like for kids, they would do Fortnite. And then I would set up boxes. I would then put up boxes and stuff like that where they could take Nerf guns and go hide behind those boxes and like move them around and do like real life Fortnite builds. And if they were shot, they were out. So basically I just tried to put together like real life Fortnite. So like that was always a vision that I had to put together events like that where it combined people where they had something in common to bond over. And then it might slowly break them out of their shell. That was kind of stuff that I did. I arranged events outside of that as well. I did like I did a Can Jam tournament. That was something I just put together, knew a bunch of gamers. I think I've mentioned some of this in the past. I grew up doing LANs. So, one of my oldest friends and best friends, I've known him for basically 20 years. I guess this year is probably 20 years of my life. And his whole family and my whole family used to get together every holiday and just get all of our computers together and play video games. And those were some of the most fun memories I had in my life. Both sports and video games had such a big impact. Why I really enjoy this. I do love the PC building aspect, but at the same time, I love the gaming. It's a big part of my history, and I want to be able to hopefully impact the community that's built around it. This is just something that I've enjoyed doing, I've loved doing. Yeah, so when it comes to things like this PC giveaway, Christianity and my relationship with God are like the most important thing in my life. And I have a business now that's built around recruiting, and I treat it the same way. Like, if you do things the right way, treat people the right way, and you just put people before everything else, like everything just tends to work out. So that's what I wanted to do with this YouTube channel, this business that I wanted to build, was just because I see it sometimes, and this isn't knocking other creators because I know how busy they get, but if you don't foster and nurture that community and give back to them, like, I don't ever want to get to a place where my head is so big, I'm like, I don't need them. I made this, I did this myself. Like, all of this is a blessing from God, first of all, but then like the community is the one that's going to give me an opportunity to become this person that has developed a community. So why would I ignore that or not want to, why would I not want to be grateful and show that thanks back to the community? So that's just my thinking and way of approaching it. I feel like that's probably enough of Black Myth Wukong. You guys have gotten the chance to see it pretty well, so I'll go ahead and swap over. I think we're going to Cyberpunk. Yeah, we'll go to Cyberpunk real quick. All right, so now we are in Cyberpunk. I'll show you the settings on this one really quick. So I'm just gonna put it on high. I don't know if it could run higher or medium, or, but I'll kind of give this a feel and see. But I will tell you, it looks incredible. Wow, this looks so good. I'm always just so surprised with Cyberpunk. But yeah, anyway, oh yeah, this was the one I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this one. I'm just gonna run around and look at stuff. I'm just gonna look around and run at stuff because this was a lot more things than I wanted to see in it, and I didn't want to expose everyone to that. So we're just gonna run around. I guess I'll start the test here, and I'll just talk while I kind of look at stuff. I forget where I was. I just know that like gaming has always been a big part of my life. Sports is a really big part too. The response and support that I've had from you guys in this PC building, community that we're slowly developing has just been awesome, and I'm very grateful for it. But I did want to just give you guys like a breakdown and like maybe an invitation to see who you are potentially supporting, because I think that's important. I don't want you guys to think like, again, I just want to be very transparent. I do want to make a living off this. I do want to make a lot of money doing this because I need to be able to support my family, retire, all those things. But I also want to be trusted as a resource in the community to provide and give back to the community. So when you guys are supporting this channel, you're helping me get new tech, you're helping me keep my lights on, you're helping me keep my family, but also you are helping me get to a place where we can do things and, help people that maybe didn't have a chance. Like, think about this. To enter into this, giveaway right now, this is $15. Essentially, that's what you're going to spend is $15. And this is a $1,000 PC probably. I mean, the 7500F was $140. The RAM was, you guys saw I got it on sale for $200. The 2080 is like $200. So what is that? $550. And then, the case is maybe $40. So we're about $600. The CPU cooler was $625. So maybe you could build this PC for, and then a power supply is another $60. Maybe you could build this PC for $750 once you factor everything in. So still, $750 build, which is insanely cheap actually now that you think about it, for potentially $15. And I have literally 6 people that are signed up. I know most other people wouldn't, divulge that kind of information or whatever the correct word is. There's 6, I think there's 6. It's either 5 or 6 that are registered and set up for this. I'm gonna swap to the next game because this is probably boring for you guys to keep watching. All right, we are now in Cyberpunk. I know that this is a different video than what I typically would do, but I wanted to try and give you guys like a realistic picture of who you are involved in community with, hopefully, and like who you are potentially supporting, because I think it's important to know some of those things like when you make that decision. So as I was mentioning, what was I saying? Dang, I forgot already. I probably could go back and watch it, but I don't know what it was that I was saying. You guys will probably tell me in the comments. This is like an odd video for me because normally there's like benchmarking and stuff that I try to put more time into, but this one I'm mostly just focusing on like hanging out, chatting with you guys. I just want to give you an idea of like who I am, what I hope to do. Oh, that's what it was. $750. Like, and here's the thing. I don't think I'm going to come out ahead on this. I genuinely don't think enough people are going to subscribe that I'm going to make up that $750. Oh yeah, and I still have to put a storage in here. So I have one, but like it's probably not safe. I don't really trust it. So that's going to be another $130, $140. So that puts it probably like $750 to $800. I could be wrong. I could be crazy, but I don't think enough people are going to sign up for that, and I don't expect it. I expected to come out of this one behind. But, you know, if for some crazy reason, and this is the kind of person I want to be, try to be, if some crazy reason like 300 people or some ridiculous number like signed up for this, I'm immediately, so as I mentioned at the beginning, like I feel bad for that guy. I want to be able to give people an opportunity to do this for free. As I mentioned, wow, 3 for 3. If you sign up, like let's say you sign up now, I want to give people a place where like you can do it and you can pay, and in 2 months you're in. Like this is all for the next months or, you know, the future, but like in 2 months you're in. Or you could just do it if you want to. Like maybe if you want to support the channel, you have that right. You don't have to pay anything. But, you know, if you can do it for free, but you have to be signed up for 4 months. Or maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna work all this out later. But if it gets to a place where like you guys are just so generous and I'm now coming out thousands and thousands of dollars ahead, the plan is to do this more. So instead of doing it twice a year, I'll probably do it quarterly. That's the goal, that's the hope, is to be able to start doing this quarterly. Maybe, I mean, if this community just gets so generous, like I would love to do it like every 2 months or something ridiculous like that. Like I don't want to just be the place that gives stuff away, and that's the only reason people like come and watch my videos or want to be involved with me. But it does feel really good to know that you're making a difference, like you're impacting people's lives, because that's the reality. Is like PCs are very, very expensive. Buying these things, like even a low-end computer these days is like $300, $450. It's a privilege to be able to provide and give back to that. And when people support you, like it feels nice to be a trusted resource to create that. Yeah, I think this is probably enough of Counter-Strike. You guys have seen me click on some heads, seen me not click on some heads. I think Where Winds Meet is the last game, and then I promise I will be done rambling. Okay, so now we're in our very final game here, Where Winds Meet. Wow, this looks really, I'm just so impressed by this game. Let me go ahead and show you guys the settings, and then I will continue the rambling, and then we're all gonna go about our day and call it. So it's still in the Where Winds Meet. Don't know what that looks or what that actually means. But everything seems to be on pretty high or medium, or high or medium. There's also a really cool free to play game, and I would definitely, if I played games like this, I would 100% consider it. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So like, if you guys just choose to be so generous and do all these crazy things, I am 100% going to, oh, where is it? I am 100% gonna swap out that 2080 for this 3080, and I don't know if it's gonna fit in there. So we might have to get you a new case. So if you guys decide to do that, you need to do it before June 15th, long before, so I have time to get a new case. But yeah, that is definitely the plan. Like if we went from this 6 to like 50 or 75, I will put the 3080 in there. That's really just kind of like who I am, who this channel is, like where so where I hope for it to go is for it to continue to grow, for this to become something that I do full time, and at the point that it does become full time, like I will work on a lot of the things that you guys have asked for, like the quality of life things, like, you know, even now I'm upgrading to like Ryzen 5 7500F. I am making sure that I'm doing graphs for you guys. Like some of those things I'll try to add in. You know, I have a lot of other ideas for the channel that at some point I would like to do. So, you know, once I find a 40, 70, 90K, I am absolutely holding a rock, paper, scissors tournament to give away that PC. And I don't know if there are gonna be people that are even interested, because the demographic that watch the normal videos might not have any interest in that kind of live event, which is very possible, but I still want to do it, or I think it's fun. And I genuinely do hope that like people, or that you guys understand, like it's the viewers that make this possible. It's you guys coming in, leaving comments. Like if you cannot afford, or even if you're not interested in the newsletter, like that's still not that big of a deal, because it's people showing up, being interested. You know, I have watched the same skateboarding YouTube channel for probably 2 or 3 years at this point, probably only maybe 5 comments total. So, you know, I know that some people are gonna watch these, they're never gonna leave comments. That's okay, I'm fine with that. I still appreciate you guys being here and just watching the videos. I'm gonna go ahead and swap over to the chart, and I'll just chat a little bit, and then, you know, you guys will get out of here and go enjoy your weekend and have a happy Easter. All right, so very last part, you guys can see here. So Orange is 1% low, green is max, blue is average. So 73 FPS average on Where Winds Meet. Counter-Strike was 209, which is pretty solid. Cyberpunk was 83. Black Myth was actually pretty high at 72 and only 50 as the low. I think the 3060 Ti we had yesterday had a lot more lows. So I wonder if, I don't really know. I don't understand. Crimson Desert was an average of 41. So as I've mentioned before in other videos, 40 to 45 is where it feels playable. Everything underneath that is where it starts to get a little choppy. But yeah, I genuinely hope that, you know, for those of you that enjoy my content, you've enjoyed this video. Not all content's going to be like this just because the rest of it is designed in a way that I want a lot of people to watch. I hope that it can not go viral, but it can bring in more viewership and more eyes. And something like this that's just designed, I'm not titling it in a way that I want tons of people to come look at it. I know that this video might only get like 100 views or 200 views or whatever, but I still want it to just be out there so that like people that are interested in my channel, in the community, can understand who I am and just some of the things that like I'm hopeful for and where the direction I want this channel to go. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. You know, gave you some insight into who I am. It's Easter this weekend. Easter is a big holiday for me. We're gonna take my 2-year-old out, do some egg hunting, go to church, all that kind of stuff. So if those are things that you do, you know, I hope that you enjoy that. And if not, I hope you have a good weekend. I will catch you guys in the next video.